Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Wednesday, the 28th of Muharram 2023, corresponding with the English date 16th of August 1445. Hazrat Wala is saying, I just opened up this kitab and this came out, Tasawwuf Kamizdak, the corroboration of Tasawwuf. Now Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, he used to look at kitabs like this. Ihya'ul Ulum was in front of him and he would go through the kitabs of the Arab ulama. Now this is the kitab of Saheb Ibda'. He was a very, very great alim and he passed away in 1942. In the same year that Hazrat Tanvi passed away. And Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to see these kitabs and particularly he liked this kitab. And then he would say, just like how Hazrat Tanvi was the Mujaddidiyya, on that side there, Sahib Ibda was the Mujaddid there in Misr. Now ibarats like this here, ظهرت التصوف في القرون الأولى للإسلام فكان له شأن عظيم. Now, this is how he would quote the ibarats in front of the great ulama who would then come to visit him. So here, ظهرت التصوف في القرون الأولى. When tasawwuf appeared in the first centuries of Islam, then what about it? فَكَانَ لَهُ شَأْنٌ عَظِيمٌ. It enjoyed a magnificent status. وَكَانَ الْمَقْصُودُ مِنْهُ فِي أَوَّلِ الْأَمْرِ تَقْوِيمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ وَتَهْذِيبَ النُّفُوسِ. Its objective, in the beginning, its objective was to set right character, culture the nafs, train them to carry out actions of deen, attract the nafs and acquaint to them, meaning to the nafs, the wisdoms and the mysteries of the deen gradually. You know, when I went to, on the top there, he was staying in Nadwa, his apartment is on the top there, Maulana Abdullah Hassani, he said, Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab Ajeeb Kisam ki Buzrug. He was an amazing type of wali and Buzrug. Unki majlison mein wo muwafaqat, shatibi, sharani. In his majalis you would find the quotations of muwafaqat, Allama Shatibi, Allama Sharani. Allah ka shukr. And it is for that reason that in that zamana and time, everybody accepted him. هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة. Sometimes Allah Ta'ala preceded in the ayat the mention of tazkiyah over that of ta'lim, and sometimes He put ta'lim first. So each of these objectives were obviously correct, essential, and exactly in line with the Shariat. Therefore, no one ought to differ with them nor reject them. However, because the ulama of the Zahir sciences, the external sciences, considered deen to be restricted to rules relating to dealings and transactions and actions of the external body parts, they rejected the genuine Sufis and went to the extent of labeling them deviates and heretics. Since the rulers and sultans were dependent on ulama, they supported the latter while the Sufis were left unsupported and helpless. They feared their opponents and were compelled to conceal their orientation. They felt that outsiders will not understand their speech, so they formulated expressions and terminologies which were peculiar to them. This is why they admitted a person into their tariqat. This is why the Sufis, when they brought a person into the silsila, they did so after laying down many conditions and putting him through a long period of tests and examinations. They said, if any person wants to join us, he will have to prove himself to be a genuine seeker. Only then can he become a murid and a salik, one treading the path. Now, the crux of this entire discussion is that it was due to their highest level of integrity, honesty, sincerity that these Sufis observed and tested the sincerity of the talib, the seeker, the students. They did this so that they could conclude whether he is true and firm in his quest or whether he has a genuine resolve or not. So they did this so that they could conclude whether he is true and firm in his quest and whether he is genuine, he has a genuine resolve, and is he firm in his quest, and whether he has a genuine resolve or not. In other words, was it Allah's love that brought him to their path, or does he want to creep in just like that so that he may learn their secrets? And then divulge them to other people. You know, these days, what do you say? Khankaho, khane peene ke adde ho gaye. They have become places, the khankas, of eating and drinking. Now we're speaking, this is the ibarat of Saheb Ibda, Sheikh Sayyid Ali Mahfuz. And the mizaj, what can I tell you about the temperament and the nature of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab? His andaz was that of ilmi. Nevertheless, malfuzat, they are not empty of benefit. In quoting them and passing them on, that is also a very great ni'mat. So, in the Khanka also, Imam Ghazali himself says, Ta'attalatil Khawanik, that what has happened to the Khankas. They have become destroyed. So, Allah Ta'ala, let's continue. Tasawwuf was a magnificent concept which has been defined by the ulama of Tasawwuf as huwa ilmun tu'rafu bihi ahwalu tazkiyatin nufus, that it is a science through which the purification of the nafs, the rectification of character, and the development of external and internal could be learned so that external happiness may be acquired. External happiness may be acquired. Now, furthermore, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab goes on to say and make some clarifications, tawzihat, muslihul ummat. So Hazrat Muslihul Ummat rahimahullah said, a person has to have high courage and lofty aspirations for his work. Accumulating of this world and confining oneself to the external actions are not marks of lofty aspiration. Rather, it entails severing one's link with all unnecessary relationships and establishing a bond with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and acquiring affinity with Him. However, the severing of ties is like death to these people. Hazrat Wala is saying that he is referring to us. It is like death to us. This is why They neither sever them nor do they develop a bond with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. To Allah alone do we belong, and to Him is our return. We present our complaint to Him alone. We cry to Him alone. Anyway, this work is not for all and sundry. So tasawwuf when we speak about rectification of the character, just there, Hazrat Wala is saying on that note there, he says that some have said that at-tasawwuf huwa al-akhlaq, that tasawwuf in essence is akhlaq. So, Allah Ta'ala is saying, وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ, describing the akhlaq of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. In another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam says, I have been commissioned to perfect character. You know, if a person came to the khanqa of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb, and then without permission, if he had to start his wazifas and this and that, then Hazrat Tanvi would say to him that, who told you to start wazifa and that? It could greatly be possible that I would tell you to learn your surahs or Surah Fatiha to rectify that. There you read it in your salat all the time. You know, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb, sometimes those who were in the khanqa, he used to call us, or the students, and then he would say that yaha ke hote hue koi guna na kare. That listen, you are here, you in a khanqa, whatever it is, but at least don't commit any sin. In fact, in Ramadan, he used to send me and he used to say, go into the khanqa, listen, see, if you find someone making tilawat, great, not a problem, wonderful. If someone is making zikr, acha, teek, no problem. But if you see somebody making gabshab, talking layani, in fact to this extent he would say that if you see someone sleeping also, it's fine. Rather tell them to go and sleep. But no type of layani, futile and siyasi talk that this one's got this opinion and this one here has said this here. This is a khanqa. So the asal thing and the genuine thing that we are looking for is acceptance, and that of qubuliyat. But from the start, if our foundation and our intention is wrong, then what will happen? You know, Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Saheb was so alert and aware about things of this nature. You know, someplace a khanqa was put up. And what did he remark? That khanqa banai. That they built a khanqa. And then he would go on to say, कि मियाँ खानका बन जाती है, बनाई जाती नहीं. A khanqa is automatically built. It's not, meaning not constructed. It is automatically, it comes into being. Meaning how? People gather at a certain place, the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes place, and that's how the khanqa comes into being. Not building a khanqa, no, not like that, not that way round, this way round. What is this tasawwuf all about? Ta'miru dhahir wal batin. It is not the name of bricks and sand and stones and cement. You know, Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Saheb, I told you people about this incident, about that he would not just attend functions like that. And on one occasion he went, and when he seen those lights and all that there, and he said, but my entire life I didn't go. Now why must I go now towards the end of my life? But listen, if you want to go, you may so go. And I said, but Hazrat, whatever you doing, I am doing. And Hazrat Wala is saying that I spent my life like this with the Buzrugan Deen. Under their shadow and under their wing, whatever they done and whatever they loved and whatever they wanted us to do, that is what we wanted. And that is what we done. You know, there was a person, there was a muhaddith, and we're speaking about his uncle. He used to come to Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, and he used to say that Hazrat kuch DJ, Hazrat give something. Then, because I was the wasta and the person in between, he would tell me, listen, go and tell him this. Har hari se na sazaye tarke dunya ke kunad. Shere marda bayad wadarya dile mardana. Meaning that हर हरीस नालायक दुनिया को कब तर्क कर सकता है, उसके लिए शेर मर्द और दरियाए दिल होने की जरूरत है. He would say, go and tell him these couplets. How can every avaricious and unworthy fellow discard the world? It is not just so easy for everyone. Not har kas or nakas ke liye, not just for anyone, just like that. Not for all and sundry. Rather, it requires the courage of a lion and the heart of an ocean. Don't you see the courage of a lion and the heart of an ocean? So anyway, this work is not for all and sundry. He added, just as it is the duty of the ulama to acquire knowledge of beliefs and jurisprudence, they have two other obligations. The first is to acquire love and affinity with Allah, and the other is to rectify the evils of the nafs. They have to impose on the nafs ammara and follow the shariat and the sunnat. And on another occasion, another person comes and asks the same thing, that Hazrat, nisbat-e batini. Hazrat, nisbat-e batini, meaning that wealth that you have in your heart, give me that. And Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab then again tells me, go and tell him these couplets. Go and tell him this. Har hari se na sazaye tarke dunya ke kunad. Shere marda, bayad, wadarya dile mardana. How can every avaricious and unworthy fellow discard the world? Meaning it's not just so easy like that, that all and sundry will be able to do it. Rather, it requires the courage of a lion and a heart of the ocean. So, they will have to impose on the nafs ammara. So, then you can reach and can attain the nafs mutma'inna. The khitab and this address comes only for the nafs mutma'inna, not for the nafs lawama and the nafs ammara. Eventually, Allah Ta'ala then invites it and says, come. That your entire life you lowered yourself and you understood yourself to be low, as lowly as the sand and the earth, like something which is trampled upon. You understood that, and the reality of that was like that. Now don't worry. Ya ayyatuha nafsul mutma'inna irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan mardiya. Now you put yourself on the farsh. Now come to the arsh ala. So Allah Ta'ala give us full yaqeen in all of this. This is the khususiyat of the nafs mutmainna. What can I say about myself? मेरा कोई ठीक नहीं है कि क्या कब क्या हो जाए. What will happen when? Nevertheless, बहुत झुका चुके. You have lowered yourself much. You understood yourself to be even more unworthy than that of sand which is trampled upon. Now you come. You understood, you accepted the objectives of the Shariat. The Iman-e-Izdirari, that wasn't sufficient. Rather, you came onto Iman-e-Ikhtiyari. أن يكون العبد اختياريا قبل أن يكون اضطراريا. That, the kafir, he is also the banda of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but in a way, in a manner that he's got no choice in it. But we have to come out from that and actually become banda ikhtiyari, where we start doing from our own sides over and above. Fir'aun was also banda istirari. Was he not the servant of Allah? Allah created him? Yes, but istirari, not ikhtiyari. But Allah Ta'ala gave him that choice. But he did not accept, choose and opt for that choice. Nevertheless, jab tak chalta hai, chalta rahe. Just how we carrying on now. Allah ka shukr hai. Up till now, we carrying on with this majlis and that. What can I tell you about my bimari and that, and my pains, etc. Even the daughters, they have all come, they are all here. They are also crying. What can I tell you? Their mother is gone. I am everything for them. Allah Ta'ala give them all afiyat, and Allah Ta'ala make them all Allah walas. And you people, taking this pain, coming and going, let this also not just be customary, but there must be genuineness and haqiqat in it. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.